So how can you work on yourself? By, how can you work on yourself on this freezing moment? How can you unfreeze yourself? The way I do it, it's basically like I breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in to the core. So breathe in 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, subsequently, and then I release. And the more I breathe in and breathe out, the more I tap into my higher self, my loving self, Because we need to find this ice cube version of ourselves. So you breathe in, breathe out, and then amplify all the love and care and nurture that this loving version of ourselves has. And it can be anything. You can like tap into this loving self in different kind of ways. Like I tap into it by my warm, nice emotions. Warm emotions. I feel good. I feel like I'm healing myself. I feel flames around me. That is one way to do it. But tap into like how it feels. Tap into all the senses if you can. Tap into all your senses. And while you're inside all your senses, you see this coldness. You see this coldness, and you walk towards this coldness. You walk towards the thing that feels cold, and you realize it's this ice cube. It is inside of you. It's this ice cube. And you're inside this ice cube. This is the numb version of yourself. This is the numb version of yourself, and you are in your higher self. You walk towards this ice cube, and then you hug this ice cube. You hug this ice cube. You let it melt into, just water. And then finally, you're freeing yourself. You're freeing this version of yourself that is numb. That is, that has been numb. That has been like a zombie. That has been paralyzed. There's so many words for this, right? And then you basically free yourself. So that is the way to do this ice cube inner work. So try it out, and the benefits are just amazing. Like I told you this one story about, like I just told you this recent story where I just like went into my senses and immediately like, okay, let me get out of here. This is dangerous. Let me just go walk out. I experienced it with, for example, I also experienced like, there was this friend of mine who didn't really respond. He was a really close friend of mine. He was one of my teachers, so to say. Like he was teaching me about mental health and all those kind of things, And then he stopped responding. He stopped being warm, and then I froze again. I was just freezing, and I couldn't be in the present moment. I couldn't really be in the present moment. Like now, like you see all these people here, they are, I don't know, maybe they're in the present moment, they're enjoying themselves. Hopefully they are. in this moment where you're just like this child who just want to play, and that is what happens if you're in the freeze, if you're in the frozen state, you are not there. Crazy, right? And it's just like the skill is basically like to be aware of, okay, when does these freezing moment happens, and then you work on them, right? For me, I've been in many of these freezing moments, and there like hundreds of these freezing moments, like everything from a girl complimenting you or a girl complimented me or trying to talk to me, everything from that, and where naturally just got frozen, until moments like where I get challenged by my boss, or even like, corrected by my boss, like, hey Eugene, what are you doing? This is not good. And then I freeze up again, right? Or insulted by my father. That's probably the thing that has contributed the most to this freeze, right? So at one point I could just feel this freezing moment, a numb moment, paralyzing of my nervous system so much that I was like, okay, now I need to make an end, because it robbed me for me being me. It robbed me from, getting out of these dangerous experiences. It robbed me from the beautiful, nice opportunities that I could have reacted on, right? Because why is it that you freeze? Why is it that you're numb? You're getting into the state of numb because the nervous system want to protect itself. That's why it happens. So every time it happens, dive into it, meditate on it, find the root cause of it, free yourself. You can do this, I believe you, I trust you. And if not, you can always contact me if you want some advice or anything like that. Let's go. Let go and let God.